Hello Sagittarius, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energy and predictions for the sign of Sagittarius for the end of April. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Sagittarius, let's go ahead and get into this reading for you. So the time frame on this reading will be from the last week of April, so that'll be April 21st, all the way to May 12th. The reason I chose May 12th is that is the full moon in Scorpio. So we're going to take a look at what is coming to a close here for you as we wrap up the month of April and we roll into May. All right. We'll go ahead and get all the cards out here, get everything in view, and then we'll get right into it for you. Okay. And I think that's looking just about good enough to me for right now. Energy on the bottom, you have the Chariot. At this time, you may feel like you are gaining your stride, okay, around something. The momentum is picking up. You're picking up speed in some area in your life. And this would be quite successful for you. Whatever this period of momentum is for you, this will come with some success. The Chariot represents success in driving forward towards something. It can represent momentum and movement ahead, right? It's a very positive card. It can also be this idea of as above, so below. Okay, so the idea is that our actions in life really are important, and the energy we put out to the universe, it does come back to us eventually, right? So as above, so below. What are you doing to create the timeline that you want? And what are you doing to continue to pick up momentum in your situation? I think is what you're looking at here as you close out April. I see some pretty big message here of productivity for you, Sagittarius. Definitely like to see that. I'm a Sag rising for us fellow Sag people. Yeah, I see a major message of productivity here, actually. And yeah, you have a really good reading. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. In the middle of the spread here, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So the Eight of Pentacles is somebody who's being productive. You can see that they have completed their projects here on the post and on the ground, and they're wrapping up their latest project. So it is a message of productivity, but this is probably the biggest card indicating skill in the tarot. Okay, so you have something that you can fall back on, either in your career or in your life. You have a special skill, talent, or ability. This can also come forward when you're ready to receive a promotion in work. It says you're making progress. You're being productive and you're making progress in your career situation. And when combined with the Chariot, this is sort of like a doubling down effect, right? Not only are you making progress, but there's also momentum, right? There's also forward momentum in the situation. So it's very, very positive. Then I would also say that with this card, you may feel like at this time you need to be dedicated, all right? The Eight of Pentacles can represent dedication to the task at hand. And so I do see you being sort of like really, like you're tunneling in on something. You're really, really dedicated and focused. Maybe even a little fixated on something, which I think sometimes is okay, like for sure, right? There can be a point where it spirals out of control and you're so fixated that you miss the forest for the trees. But there are times where we need to drone in or drill in on something in our work or in our life in some way. So I see that happening for you. There may also be a raise or promotion on the table. I don't really see new job. I see progress, okay? I see progress in the current situation. Or if you're a business owner, that as well. Maybe you're looking for new outlets, new avenues, new income streams, something like this. In the first column, you have the Temperance card, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. All right, so we see at least 3 court cards here, okay? So we have 2 queens here in the first column, but let's start off with the Temperance card. This is actually the Sagittarius card in the tarot. So I think that the upper row is the row of your thoughts. So you are thinking about your situation first. okay? You're putting what you need to put first. And you're also thinking about, what can I do to alchemize or create something? You can see that the Temperance Angel here is performing alchemy, right? So you can see that. So you have some elements. You have this idea of like mixing and combining things and creating something. There's big creativity available here with the Eight of Pentacles and the Temperance card, and you are at the forefront. You're front and center here. Okay, this can also be around patience and moderation as well. So maybe some of you are taking your time on a project. I really think that maybe some of you are, for example, you're not doing, you're not, well, I don't know if I can swear on YouTube. I guess I can, but you're not, yeah, you're making sure the project's 100% complete. Okay, you're making sure the project's 100% complete, and you're gonna make sure that when you're ready to finish this, that it is the absolute best thing that you can do. You're taking your time on it, and you're making sure that something's done. You're doing it right. You're doing it right here. You then have the Queen of Wands, which could also be your energy. It could be any fire sign. So you got the fire energy here. Fire in the tarot, it can indicate your career, but it can also indicate your inspiration, your passions in life, and kind of enjoying life as well. Especially as you have the, in this illustration, you see the sunflowers here. Sunflowers are a sign of happiness. And it's like happy-go-lucky energy. It's very much your energy, Sagittarius. The Queen of Wands can also indicate that you're very busy. Okay, the Queen of Wands will always take on many things in their life. So I think that you are very busy here with this Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and maybe figuring out a way to moderate all of this, like to balance things out. The Temperance card can also indicate balance in the tarot. And making sure you're not burning out, making sure that's the if you will, dark side of the fire energy, which is burnout, right? Burnout can be, or burnout or anger or overheating. So in this case, it's burnout, none of the other things. But yeah. So then you have the Queen of Pentacles. This can quite literally be somebody who can lend you money. It can be lending money. And this would not be like a personal loan, okay? This would be like a bank, money coming from a bank. Or, so lending generally, like the lending environment, but it can also be the person who gives you the raise, right? This is the person who controls the purse, so to speak. They control the bank, they control the money, and that's what I'm looking at here. This is on a different level. This could also be somebody who can give you very solid advice, okay? Very, very trusted advice. This can be a trusted person in your life. In the middle of the spread here, in the middle column, you have the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. You do have 888. Yeah, I was looking at that. I thought so. Yeah, so you have this 888 energy. 888, I love that sign, that angel number, that spiritual number, because that can mean infinity, right? It can mean potential. It can mean transformation. It can mean abundance as well. 888 is a very nice energy of abundance, and you have that here present on this reading. Interesting. So the Eight of Swords, I'm not going to spend too much time on it because literally every other card is extremely positive. There may just be like one area here that you like it's probably in the subconscious, because the lower row is the subconscious. In other words, maybe the way that you're speaking to yourself, or maybe something in a dream world coming in, some symbols you may have, some prophetic or profound dreams. There's something that's maybe interfering here. This person feels trapped in their thoughts. They feel trapped in a situation. So that could be happening, but on a lighter note, it may just mean that there's just one thing that you're missing. You can see the blindfold. This can indicate a blind spot, okay, a blind spot. There's maybe just one thing that you're missing. Interestingly enough, you have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles here. That is a counterpart in the tarot. So there may be an opportunity to go into partnership or union with another person, probably in career, business, or finance, anything like that. It could also be referring to your romantic connection or your romantic relationship here. This would be a power couple, similar to the Empress and the Emperor in the tarot. So two successful people, presumably, coming together, right? And I would say the other thing about the King of Pentacles is the King of Pentacles is your habits, it's your routines, it's your day-to-day. And let me tell you, I am just about done with this set. Like almost everyone has had a message around habits and routines in this set of readings to close out April. Like it feels like the universe here, you know, the collective that watches me on YouTube, this is a very important message for people. What are you doing Monday through Sunday, 9 to 5, day in and day out? Are those habits supporting you or are those habits pulling you back? And can you identify them? Can you organize these habits and say, okay, I'm going to keep this one, I'm going to let go of this one? Okay? The King of Pentacles gets to their throne by having healthy and solid, profitable habits and routines. In the final column here, you have the Six of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Eight of Cups. Incredible, right? So the Six of Pentacles is inflow, outflow. It's the flow of money. It's the free exchange, free flow of money. You can see that this person is giving a little bit of what they have, right? They have 6 pentacles here, 4 are above them, and they're giving 2, right? So it's the idea is it doesn't have to be about literal lending, although I will say maybe some of you can do some debt consolidation, or some of you may be taking on some risk in order to invest in a business or invest in yourself. An example here, a classic example of risk that people take is taking on student loans. The idea is they take on a student loan, they learn a skill, and then they get a job, right? That's a form of risk. Another form of risk is taking on a mortgage, right? The idea is that you can't pay for the full amount of the house. Most people can't buy a house in cash, so they take on a mortgage, and hopefully the property increases in value, right? That's another form of risk in life. And so perhaps there is a lending situation here. This would be some type of lending that is progressing you forward, such as a mortgage or student loans or something, presumably, right? That could certainly be on the table. But this can also be around the exchange of energy that you're giving to people. You can actually see the yin and yang symbol, the masculine, the feminine, or just the natural flow of things. As above, so below. As you put things out to the universe, it comes back to you. Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, dream fulfillment. It's also contentment, or being content in your situation and feeling fulfilled. Feeling fulfilled, really. If it's not about a dream or a wish coming in, it's just this idea of feeling fulfilled and feeling very, very good about the situation that you're in. Positive card. And then the Eight of Cups can see you walking away from something that's not serving you. This may be a habit. Again, looking at organizing your habits, keeping this one, taking one out. Some of you may be walking away from something. Let's go ahead and start to get into the clarifications here. We'll start off by looking at what the Oracle cards have for us, and then we'll go from there. So let's see what's in the Oracles for Sagittarius at this time. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's also take this one and take a look at the bottom. Okay, energy on the bottom, you have compromise. Okay, you see the scales here. In a traditional Six of Pentacles card, you will see the scales. Obviously, that can connect to the theme or the element of balance, especially with temperance. It's another message of balance here. Be careful of burnout, okay? Be aware of burnout, okay, with that compromise. Nice. So you have get more information, look for a sign, and then choose a new direction. Wow. I love this look for a sign card. I typically like the choose a new direction as well, but I have to say it seems like you're really focused on something right now. And so maybe it's not the best idea to pull your focus away. Okay, you'll have to decide and fit this into your situation. But yeah, maybe giving yourself a period of rest or a moment to look for a sign. It's always a good sign. It's always a good idea. Then have you're ready, and within the next few months, this is potentially the best card in the Angel Answers Oracle deck. This is like the world when you get this card. It can say that you've done something for a while, and now the culmination of everything you've done is now here, and you're ready to actually strike. You're ready to leap forward. Within the next few months, try to detach from timing here, because it's very, very hard to wrap down timing in a general reading. Could be on the horizon is really what that means. All right, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the clarifying the tarot cards. Now, Sagittarius, do really appreciate you spending your time with me. Thank you so much for being here. I'll go ahead and shuffle, and then we'll get right into the tarot clarifications. Okay, you have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, wow, and the Eight of Wands, wow, wow. Okay. So I say wow because let me tell you, there is a ton of momentum. There's a ton of motion and a ton of progress here. Okay, we started off with that theme looking at the Chariot. The Chariot's making momentum forward, leaping forward, making success going forward. You then have two Knights. Knights typically indicate progress or momentum in the tarot, events as well. Okay, and two things on these Knights that are very interesting. We'll start with the Knight of Swords with the Queen of Wands. Knight of Swords can sometimes act in haste and then look back on the action that they have taken with regret. So the idea here is I talked about that Queen of Wands around the concept of burnout, okay? Queen of Wands can take on a lot. Be careful that you are not like, okay, I'm going to take this on, I'm going to take this on, I'm going to take this on. Remember, with the Knight of Swords, haste, all right? So be careful of what you're putting on your plate because you have something that's important here with the Eight of Pentacles. What is the term? Focus on the most important thing, like prioritize right now. Okay, I think the message is to prioritize. What is working, what is not working? Can I add something? Should I wait? Okay? Especially as you have this idea of compromise on the bottom of the Angel Answers Oracle deck. The other Knight, Knight of Wands, is really your energy, Sagittarius. It's, especially with the Temperance card, being the Sagittarius card, but the Knight of Wands, this person, look, this person's supposed to live an epic life. That's what the Knight of Wands does. You know, they're supposed to like really enjoy life. This is somebody who's an adventurer, traveler. I oftentimes see that card come forward when you're ready to move your house, like move residence, go to a new country, go to a new state, city, county, whatever it is for you, relocate. This is also a skill card, okay? So we see the elements of skill here showing up, but this is a jack of all trades. This means you have multiple interests, okay? You're probably good at quite a few things. You then have the Eight of Wands, which is another card of breakthroughs, okay? So this is another card of motion with the Eight of Wands. It can also represent communication that comes in from a distance or from far away. So phone calls, text messages, letters, emails, social media posts, all of that. But it says that the clouds are clearing. Things are moving ahead for you. And with that Queen of Pentacles, you may get some information about your financial situation. We talked about like healthy debt, right, in this reading. Like that is debt that is an asset or can become an asset. Yeah, so there may be some communication in that regard. You have the Hierophant, you have the Knight of Pentacles, and you also have the Eight of Swords clarifying the Eight of Swords. Wow. Okay. Double Eight of Swords there. Universe doubling down here, saying that there is an area of restriction in your life at this time. I really wanted to see what that was being clarified by, but, you know, this is, okay, so this is now being highlighted. This reading is extremely positive. I mean, hard to find. I mean, we don't have the Sun card, but wow, these cards are huge for you. The thing is, what is the thing that is kind of locking you up right now? Like, what is the thing that this person feels like they're locked up, okay? They feel like they're trapped in their thoughts or in something. What can you identify that? Is that even in your situation? It feels like if this is your reading, there's like one thing, okay? You may not realize it. This may be a call for you to identify it, call it out, as the lower row is maybe something you don't see, okay? Then I have the Knight of Pentacles in the middle. Knight of Pentacles can represent a financial event. There's definitely an event happening, lining up for you. There's an event aligning around career, work, money, business, and the combination of all of those things here. With the Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, all of that. King as well. Definitely some motion and momentum in that area for you. You then have the Hierophant, which is tradition. It can also represent marriage. You do have a counterpart energy here with King and Queen of Pentacles and now the Hierophant coming in. For sure. But this can be a big organization. Some of you may be going back to university. Some of you may be going to a big company. And some of you may not be doing any of that. That can just be around traditions in life. You have the Seven of Swords here. Okay. You have the Five of Cups. And you have the Chariot again. Okay. So there is a bit of a warning here. We talked about lending in this reading. With the Seven of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, this may suggest that if you make a personal loan to someone, you may not get that back. Okay? So the warning here is only give money that you can afford to give. And that is the message with that Seven of Swords, Six of Pentacles. So you may want to just think about this and contemplate it. If somebody's asking you for money, I can't tell you what to do about that, but that is the classic combination there with the Seven of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, just heads up on that from a tarot perspective. You then have the Five of Cups. Disappointment around something interesting. I don't normally do this, clarify this. Nine of Swords. Disappointment. The Nine of Cups is like the opposite of the Five of Cups. All right, so I'm not going to let a couple cards here ruin the reading. You have an extremely positive reading. But there's maybe something, maybe looking at your sleep here, there's something about the sleep. You may be having vivid dreams or nightmares. There may also be something that's just causing a little bit of anxiety right now. Here as well. And then you have the Chariot twice with the Eight of Cups. The big thing here is there's like something that's maybe locking you up a little bit or making you feel fearful or anxious. The idea is that as you walk away from this will build momentum in your life with the Chariot twice. Okay, that's a pretty big message. Then I have another Knight here, Knight of Cups. So there could be a love scenario here happening for you. Tons of Knights in this reading. We actually had all four of them come in the clarifications. Knight of Cups, Wands, Swords, and Pentacles. So a lot of events happening. You're going to be very busy during this period of time. And there may even be a lot of people sort of like showing up for you here, Sagittarius. Okay, let's go ahead and see what is in the Kipper energies for you to close out this reading. All right, you have bad health, expectation, journey, toil and labor, false person, and change. Well, I would say with this, the Temperance card there are a few cards in the tarot that can indicate healing, right? So like maybe you connecting to the right health routine or the right doctor or health practitioner. That's one of the cards with the Temperance energy. So that can indicate healing from something. With the bad health, obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I can't say, but the tarot interpretation here is maybe you'll find a solution to any health situation that you're dealing with. It may take 1 to 3 months here as you have the Distant Horizons card. There also may be an intersection happening here between the work and the health. Some of you may need to create work-life balance, okay, with toil and labor and bad health. That might actually be it. Expectation, false person. Somebody thinks that you need to do something for them, and you probably are not having it here. There's also another portion of people here that are actually traveling or changing their residence with journey and change, double chariots, and all of these Knights. Some of you will be relocating. All right, this is what I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.